Hello everybody and welcome on into the FIFA E World Cup 2026 featuring eFootball here. We are here for the knockout stage of our competition. Now, if you didn't see what happened yesterday, we played in our group stage of matches and unfortunately, not great news to report. Wales ended up losing all of the games that they ended up playing in, but because Liechtenstein were not able to play, we managed to get an automatic bye, an automatic win against them. So it puts us in fourth in the group overall. Of course, after that day one, you can see how that group, of course, ended up shaping up. Serbia topping it with 10 points, then followed by Czechia, Denmark, and then of course it is Wales in fourth place. So we got hopefully two matchups here for you guys this evening. We've got Greece in our very first matchup. It's going to be 2 games of competition for each matchup, and then of course it is the total score sort of added together, combined from both of those. And then of course if we do end up beating Greece, we will play the winner of Cyprus and Portugal. So potentially 2 matchups in order to get all the way through to, I believe, the quarterfinals if we win both of those. Yes, that's correct, quarterfinals. So very exciting stuff indeed. Very excited to see how Wales can do. Of course, lots to build on from yesterday's performances. I think, you know, there's some things that we can take and sort of bring into today with a little bit of excitement, with our heads held high. There was a few little tactical things that maybe could have gone our way a little bit better, a few games that definitely could have gone our way in terms of the scoreline as well. But you know, it wasn't an absolute battering in most of the games, apart from Serbia. But it's been closely fought, I suppose you could say, in each of those individual games. So, you know, who knows how Wales are going to come out in terms of today's performances. As I mentioned, we do have Greece in the competition today in our first round. Of course, they did top their group, which is why we are playing against them. And I'm trying to look at some of their history from yesterday, and I think they managed to win all of their games. Actually, they drew against Malta, so they managed to get a win against Iceland, a win against Bosnia, drew 1-1 against Malta, and managed to get a win, of course, against Slovenia. So that's our opponents. As we're loading up into the game, we're ready to rock and roll. This is it. It is time. We are here for the first round of the knockouts. And a reminder, those of you that have just joined us, this has big implications. We want to make sure that we're winning these games, getting through to the next stage, because if we lose this overall matchup across these 2 games, Wales will be knocked out of this week's competition. So very, very important moments for the Welsh lads here. And hopefully this is going to be getting off to a good start for the Welsh team, who need a little bit of a pick-me-up, I guess you could say, after yesterday's performances. Really not an ideal start to this overall season, but I'm sure they would have looked back at some of those VODs, looked back at how they can improve and how things can be different. But Greece are already on the attack early on here. It's an offside against Pele there on the wing, so they're not going to be able to find anything early on here, as Wales get an indirect free kick all the way back in their own half. And it'd be really interesting to see actually the differences in strategy from both Wales and, of course, the opponents we're going to be facing today. Hopefully plenty of games and plenty of action coming your way as soon as possible. But from a Welsh standpoint, a little bit more, I suppose, proactivity in front of goal is required. A little bit more clinical in front of goal is required. You know, we had a few chances yesterday where they definitely went astray, had big moments, big opportunities, but unfortunately just didn't end up going our way. Here's Greece, though, making an attack, cuts it back inside of the box now. A little bit of skill, over the top, comes out. It's a foul. It's a penalty for Greece. You can see right there, just the foul inside the box. It's a penalty for Greece. The ball went in anyway. So could Wales have a lifeline here? Or are Greece going to find it? And they do. They managed to find the goal anyway. And Wales are 1-0 down. Julian Alvarez finds the goal for Greece. And I mean, realistically, it was almost a good idea, really, because, of course, the ball was in the back of the net. But the referee already blew for the penalty. So it's a difficult start for Wales. But thankfully, the player that committed the foul, I think it's Calafiori, is still on the pitch. No red card situation, no awkwardness there. So That is very important indeed for Wales' chances of finding more success in this game. But Donnarumma can collect the ball there, who was an instrumental player really yesterday in terms of the performances. He was excellent in some of those games, making very, very important saves, keeping Wales in it for a lot of those games. So hopefully he's going to be able to have that same sort of level of performance today. Of course, usually in these sort of football games, you don't really have control over the goalkeeper. So, you know, it is kind of down to the AI in a sense, the NPC controls. But here's Greece again, storming inside of the box, over the top of Van Dijk and into the back of the net. Really silky skill moves there from Platini, who's been turning this defense inside and out. It's been a tough task, a tough challenge for Wales to try and contend with Platini in particular. And if he wasn't able to find the goal the first time, he's found it this next time. And here's Pele. Over the top ball is going to go all the way out for a goal kick. That's tough for Wales. That's a real difficult start to the game, because although Greece are 2-0 up, we also haven't seen too much from Wales' attack. So, you know, maybe this is an opportunity for them to really show what they can do here. Here's Vitinha. Outside towards Yildiz. Back inside. Neymar. There's Calafiori. There's Vitinha. Looks to shoot. Has a go, but wide. It's a speculative effort from outside the box. Needed to get a shot away, though. Needed to get that momentum going. Needed to start the engines, if you like, of this Welsh attack. We haven't seen in this game as of right now, but Greece win the ball there in the Welsh half. Pele's out on the wing, but unfortunately for them, not able to do anything with it whatsoever. Messi. There's Neymar. Loses out, unfortunately, to Van Dijk. Over the top ball, headed down. Offside, though, against Greece, so that attack's going to come down to nothing in the end. Just the runner there, I think it was Dybala, that made the run. Or Alvarez, potentially. One of them. Over the top ball here, though. Is Yildiz going to win that header? No, he's not. Really nice challenge there from Calafiori to keep the Welsh dreams alive here in the first half of this first half. Declan Rice. Vitinha. Wales are trying to play this sort of passing style of football. They're trying to work the midfield and the defense. But this is what they're susceptible to. It's these counter-attacks. Greece are running through. Crossed over. Donnarumma's there to pounce on the ball and palm it away yet again against Pele. Donnarumma keeping Wales in it right now. So many great saves, so many great moments from the goalkeeper, and Greece just keep winning the ball here in advanced positions. Here comes Platini, but he's offside. Just outside of the box right there. That was looking really dangerous, just making the run a little bit too soon. That's the danger there for Wales. Losing the ball just inside their own half. It seems to be sort of spawning a lot of these quick attacks from Greece. So they've got to be a little bit more effective when they're in those areas. Here's Messi. Inside there. Back out towards Yildiz. Inside to Mbappe. Turns. Gets on his left foot. Inside the box. Shoots and misses. It's just wide of that right post. And you have to feel like that really could be an opportunity thrown away, wasted from Neymar right there. That is a real tough situation. But proving that Wales do have opportunity, they have chances in the locker. They have potential for productivity. As we know, Greece can do exactly the same. Cuts it back there. Fake shot. Another one comes through. And from a fake shot to a real one, Greece are 3-0 ahead. Enzo Fernandez launching a ball all the way to the keeper's left. And making things really, really difficult for Wales now. 3-0 down in the first half against a Greek team that just seems to be so prolific when it comes to these attacks. And here they come again. Enzo Fernandez up towards Pele. Onto his right foot. Tries to dink a ball through. The ball's in the back of the net, but it is offside. As the storming run there from the midfield of Greece. Remember, this is, of course, 2 games. It's not over the course of 1 game. So keep your eyes peeled for that second game as well. Wales just have to try and do as much as they can now to reduce the deficit, because in a typical game where you might be 3-0 down, you might just try and throw the kitchen sink at the entire game and try and win it and turn it around outright. But there is still, of course, another 90 minutes to play after this game. Here's Neymar. A little bit of silky skill, but not able to get past the Greek defence. And it's half-time. It's 3-0 to Greece, who've looked really, really, really promising throughout that first half. And you can see reflected in the stats right there. Wales unable to register a shot on target. Greece made sure every single one of their shots counted in terms of shots on target. But tough start for Wales. 3-0 down in the first half. But thankfully, it's only the first quarter. If you look at the overall sort of games, we have 4 quarters, 2 games. And it's not going to be a problem in terms of time. It's just whether Wales can actually come up with some sort of an attack now and a response to that Greek prowess that we saw in that very first half. And here they come again. The second half has started. Through ball comes in. Inside the box. Very silky. Cleared away though. Only as far as the midfield. And now Wales can start an attack of their own. Here's Mbappe, who's not able to get a ball through towards Neymar. Straight up towards the Greek attack. Neymar out towards Declan Rice. Calafiori. Yildiz in towards Neymar, and unfortunately not able to find that ball. And now Greece have a little bit of time, a little bit of space. Platini again, outside. Cross comes in, across the goal, and saved by Donnarumma, but it's not enough. It's another goal for Greece. And another attack that goes their way. It just seems like it's so difficult to contend and compete with these Greek attacks. Every single opportunity, you just know there's going to be a shot on target there. You know they're going to make the most of these attacks. And unfortunately for Donnarumma there and for Wales, made a very good save to actually keep the first shot out. But here come Wales, an opportunity for them. Dinked into the box. It was far past a lot of the players. But picked up here and unable to make the most of that attack. Again for Wales, that's really difficult. And Wales have got to make the most of those chances. Here we go. Here's an opportunity. Mbappe was running through, but actually commits a foul there against Van Dijk, which is interesting. I don't know how that happened. You just have to imagine now that Wales just need to try and get a couple of goals, even if it is just 1 or 2 goals, just to reduce the deficit. Go into that second match with their heads held high a little bit. Something to feed off of. When it comes to this, lovely ball there from Calafiori up towards Yildiz, pulls it back towards Neymar, who goes for the header and really probably should have taken that down. And this is when Greece get dangerous, because they can launch these counter-attacks. They're playing with so much fluidity, so much confidence right now, and they keep the ball in these areas. Another great through ball towards Platini, but Calafiori's there to intercept. Well done to him. And the through balls from Wales are just not finding their attacking players. They're not able to make the most of those periods of possession that they're able to have. Scooped over from Greece, but dealt with well from Van Dijk. Yildiz now. So many Greek players that are just in and around that midfield. Wales just can't get any time and space on the ball. And Greece can spread it out wide yet again. Inside. Really great run from the midfield, though. Decides not to use it. Outside the foot pass all the way to Pele. He gets his shot blocked as well. Onana gets his pass intercepted from Calafiori, who has had a good game despite giving away a penalty. I feel like a lot of those attacks have been intercepted and cut out from Calafiori on that left back. And here's Pele. Intercepted from Cannavaro, only as far as the touchline though, so it's going to be a throw-in for Greece. And it's interesting because you can see the possession stats are so similar. Here's Greece again, cuts it back, shot comes through, cleared off the line. Another chance is brewing there for Greece, but very well intercepted there. And now Wales can try and have an attack of their own, but no. Intercepted again in that midfield. A little bit messy right now inside of that sort of halfway point of the pitch. As Vitinha and try and start something here for Wales. Mbappe, Vitinha again, looking for the run of Mbappe, who keeps the ball well. Back to Vitinha. Now Wales just trying to play this possession style of football. Here is Yildiz, has a go, but blocked from the Greek Van Dijk. And it's this quick attack that Wales just can't seem to deal with right now. But Calafiori yet again, it's Maldini actually that the ball comes off of. Really unfortunate for Wales. Ball's dinked in, saved from Donnarumma, and goes out for a goal kick. Or corner, I should say, for Greece. The speed at which Greece can get the defensive ball in towards the attacking section of the pitch for them is so impressive. Headed back. Pele. A bit of skill. Gets past one, but not able to get past the whole Welsh team. As Cannavaro now launches one forward. You have to imagine now that Wales just need to try and find something in the attack to make this count, to get a goal. Here's a shot though from Pele. Forces a great save out of Donnarumma yet again. And I'm really going to be interested to see the stats after this game, because we're going to see that Greece have had about 10 shots or something, and every single one of them have been on target. It's been unreal. Their effectiveness when it comes to attacks. Headed down towards Van Dijk. Doesn't want to have a go. Gives it back out here. Clipped towards Van Dijk at the back post. Messi's going to have to try and win that header, which is not always easy for him. Mbappe wins the header down towards the Welsh midfield, but they're not able to do anything with it. And really nice work there from Maldini to win the ball back. But intercepted once again from Greece. Can they make it 5? That's what they'll be hoping. Here's Pele, cuts it across. Is he offside? He is. Just about offside there. You could see the Greek fans celebrating. They were going crazy. But that's going to be offside. And there's going to have maybe one more chance here for Greece, who seem to be so effective. But really nice work there for Maldini to cut it out. But 4-0 after our first match here in the matchup. We've got another one. We've got another game coming up. And I mean, look at those stats. Yeah, 11 shots, 11 on target for Greece. They were so effective in that section of the pitch. And it's just really difficult for Wales already there to actually find a lot of success in that game. So 4-0 down going into the second leg. What are Wales going to do? How are they going to adjust? How are they going to improve? How are things going to change now going into this this game? That's going to be the real question as we take a look back at some of these highlights from the first game here of the matchup of the series. Not too many highlights from the Welsh perspective, but from Greece, they played excellently, and that was of course the first goal from this penalty. The foul from Calafiori, Alvarez straight down the middle. And it's just these attacks. Every single time Greece went forward and ended up in their final third, it just felt like they were going to do something dangerous. And that little ball right there, so much confidence, so much aura from the Greek attack. Wales had their moments though. They had their opportunities. This shot from the Welsh midfielder went wide. But again, those are the sort of chances that you just have to make the most of. And even right there, Donnarumma keeping Wales in it so often. And I think this was it right here. This was the chance here for Mbappe, just to pull back the goal difference to just 1 in this game. And then when you miss chances like that, you lose a bit of momentum, you lose a bit of confidence, and that's when Greece started to run away with it a little bit. Goals like that, goals like this, a little bit messy, a little bit chaotic. And even this one right there, a little bit more space, a little bit more time on the ball could have been needed. And I think you have to say, from a neutral perspective, Greece could have scored plenty more. So it was not the ideal start for Wales in this matchup, but there's still another one to come. So, you know, you could see in those highlights right there how effective Greece were in those attacks, but they can't simply be doing that all the time. There's got to be space in and around the rest of the pitch. So, you know, maybe it is for Wales now to try and make those counter-attacks a little bit quicker, maybe try and bring on maybe a taller striker to have an outlet at the top of the pitch. It's tough to know exactly how things are going to actually go down. I want to take a look at some of our other matchups that are happening right now and seeing how the other teams are doing as we go to second week here. So Cyprus and Portugal are currently playing. Let's see if there's a stream for this one. Yeah, there is. So it's currently 3-0 to Portugal in that match. So it looks as though they're in the driving seat in that matchup. So whoever wins in our matchup out of Greece and Wales will be winning. Will be playing, of course, the winner of Cyprus and Portugal. Currently looking like Portugal in that situation. And honestly, looking at the overall bracket, it does look as though Wales do have a potential to get to the sort of semi-finals and quarterfinals if they, of course, can get past this first roadblock of Greece, which is really not easy at all, as we've seen from the Welsh perspective. But shout out to the Welsh guys. You know, they're trying their best. It'll be interesting to see what they actually do now to adjust their gameplay, slightly change how they're going to approach this second leg, because it's something different to what we've seen really in the previous games. It's like, you know, you only had 90 minutes to make something count, make something work, whereas now you've got a whole nother game. You've got a whole nother 90 minutes to fix mistakes and improve on some things that are maybe going wrong for you, or something that's not been as effective. But yeah, 4-0 in that very first game. I'm sure the Greek players will be incredibly happy with how that first leg went. And from Wales' perspective, you just got to try something different here, I think. Try and adjust, try and, you know, play a different sort of game maybe than was being played in that first leg, in that first game. Even in the group stage, just, you know, a couple of adjustments here and there could be the difference. And even now, getting an early goal would be absolutely fantastic and absolutely ideal if the Welsh lads can do it. But looking across the grounds as well, looks as though Italy are beating Bosnia 5-0. Turkey are beating Moldova 5-0. There's lots of big scorelines out there. Hungary beating Bulgaria 2-0 overall right now. Poland beating Romania 3-0. Scotland losing to Denmark 1-0 at the moment. Israel beating Norway 3-0. Slovenia losing to Armenia 1-0. France against Belarus is currently 8-1 in that first leg. So things are looking very interesting in that one. I don't think Belarus are going to stand a chance, but who knows. Czechia winning against Croatia 1-0 as well. That's an interesting one. England against Lithuania 1-1 currently in that game, and very similarly 1-1 in Montenegro versus Malta as well. So a lot of the games have been either very close or not close at all. So it'll be interesting to see how these standings and how these brackets end up changing throughout the course of the day. But from our perspective here on our show, we have a very important perspective to look at. And that's the second leg of Wales versus Greece. That's the second leg of this absolute monster of a mountain to climb for Wales. 4-0 on aggregate. You can see Wales have made a few changes already, bringing in Nuno Mendes, I can see, potentially as a sort of wing-back. Maybe trying to counter some of those attacks from Greece, who actually just loses out on the ball right there. Maybe just replacing Calafiori at left-back, actually, so changes things slightly. Vitinha in the middle of the pitch. There is Nuno Mendes making a run on the left side. Yildiz is also making a run, gives it straight on the wing to him. But Greece are going to be able to hold on to the ball here. And it'll be interesting to see what Greece do here. Maybe they start sitting back a little bit. Definitely the momentum could be with Wales in terms of attacks if they decide to do that. Yildiz, though, bit of skill on the wing. Back towards Nuno Mendes. Bit of space here. Decides what he wants to do, but gives it away straight away. And now Greece can do what they do best, which is attack, attack, attack. And you have to imagine that getting the first goal here for Greece would settle the nerves so much. So from a Welsh perspective, we want to try and avoid that. That first goal is going to be super important. And it's players like Pele that make all the difference in this Greek side. So getting an early goal, getting a first goal would be so important in this game for Wales. And you can see Greece just passing it around a little bit more, being a bit more controlled with their gameplay. Yildiz is going to get to this. No. Just goes out wide. And goes out for a throw-in. 13 minutes in here. It's been a lot more positive, really, than what we saw in that first leg. And Nuno Mendes commits a foul. How are Wales going to be able to deal with these attacks? How have they looked back at some of the previous gameplay from that first game? And hopefully making adjustments. Rafael Leao looks to win the ball in the air. Doesn't. Comes out to the Greek midfield. Spreading it out wide. Back inside. Well challenged there from Chiellini. Releases Nuno Mendes. He just can't quite get the run of the game right now. It just seems like Nuno Mendes has been involved in everything that's not going so well for Wales. And here he is again. So much happening on this left side. In towards Yildiz. Good bit of play. Here's Rafael Leao. Can't quite find Neymar Jr., unfortunately. And this is where Greece can get so impactful. Messi. Rafael Leao makes a run. Neymar's inside as well if he looks for him, but doesn't quite find him. Vitinha out towards Nuno Mendes. Inside to Yildiz. Loses out. That was a good opportunity there, though, from Wales. This is good attack building. This is good play. Much better than what we saw in that first game. And Wales have got a bit of wind in their sails right now. Here's Vitinha. Nuno Mendes back to Van Dijk, back to Vitinha. He gets robbed in the middle of the pitch. Over the top ball now. Puts Greece through. Holds off one. Back towards the edge of the box. And blocked very well from Wales, and Van Dijk can clear. Much, much, much better, though, from Wales in this first 28 minutes of the second leg. Unfortunately, if it wasn't for the fact it's 4-0, I think Wales would be feeling a lot more positive, but just about getting that early goal. And that's going to be a foul there on Neymar. Yellow card on Onana, so could change things a little bit if they can try and exploit that. Maybe get him sent off, who knows? That would really shift things up. Over the top ball. Leao wins the header. Down towards Yildiz. That's outside. Looks to shoot. We know Yildiz likes a shot. Saw it so much yesterday. Here's Pele. For Greece. Looking inside. Spreads it out wide. Greece looking for an opportunity here. Bit of space. A good save from Donnarumma. Back inside. He's not saving that. And how quick did Greece turn that ball over? They had a great attack, a great shot, a great opportunity there. And it's Ruud van Nistelrooy picking up his goal right here for the Greece team. Here he is yet again. Ball roll. And again, Greece coming through. Another ball roll and another save from Donnarumma. And it's just in these areas, just inside of the box, just outside of the box, around 18 yards from the goal. That's when Greece just seemed to be so prominent on this Welsh defence. That's been the difficulty for them at the moment. Just how do you deal with that? And then when it comes to defence for Greece, they seem quite good at that as well. Nuno Mendes here on the right side, actually unfortunately losing out there on that dribble down the right. Doesn't find his way through. And there's going to be a throw in here for Greece. Long throw. And saw the target, heads it on. Nearly as far as the goal, but Van Dijk can clear very well, and Yildiz tries to keep that attack going. And it's Onana that can find the challenge right there. A lot closer of a game though, this one so far. 40 minutes in. Wales definitely still in this game, but that statement is going to be dwindling as time goes on. You know, you can score 5 goals in one half, which is what Wales are going to need to do in the second half if they can have any way of turning this around. Lovely ball there from Yildiz. Maybe they'll score in the first here as Leao's running through. Cuts it back, looks for an option. Only finds a Greek shirt though. And now Greece are able to launch a counter-attack of their own. Here they are. Silky's skills back inside. Back outside. Looking for a shot. Has one. Blocked. Only as far as Neymar. You'd imagine that would do it, would you? No. Straight towards Van Nistelrooy. Oh dear. Here's Greece again. They've given it straight to the attacker, and that is so unfortunate for Wales. The through ball came in, and it bobbled its way through to Enzo Fernandez, who tops off a very solid first half from Greece. Score right now, 2-0 in the second leg, and 6-0 on aggregate. Really tough for Wales, who didn't actually register a shot in that first half, according to those stats right there. So really difficult to actually manage that. That's the difficulty when it comes to this game. You can see I'm looking right now. Wales 0 shots, 0 on target. Greece had 6 with 6 on target. Really tough situation for the Welsh guys right now. I think at this point you just got to try and throw everything at the game. You know, get all the attackers on, bring everyone on the pitch. Nuno Mendes coming off, Mohamed Salah coming on. This is what you have to do. And Nistelrooy coming off for Greece. And here we go, though. Wales running through. Good challenge from that Greek defence again. Yildiz. Vitinha. Leao's making a run. Doesn't find him. This, Greece can just play with so much freedom right now. Over the top ball, back inside towards Pele, but it's not going to be enough for him to carry on. Salah kicks the ball out of play right there. Unfortunately, the longer time goes on for Wales, the more unfortunate and dire the situation is looking. You have to imagine that Wales need to find a goal now in the next 5 minutes or so to have any chance, especially with how excellent this Greek team have been. It's just tough to see where that's going to come from. Vitinha not able to find a ball all the way through. Greece again can have these counter-attacks without worrying about it. Cross comes in. Pele's back post. Good save from Donnarumma. And I would say keeping Wales in it, but that's almost essential at this point. Donnarumma, yet again, the saving grace for Wales to avoid embarrassment here. But the Greek attacks are going to keep on flowing. Pele cuts back inside, has a go, and scores. 3-0 to Greece here in the second leg. 7-0 on aggregate. Julian Alvarez gets yet another goal. And you have to imagine that Wales' run here in the knockouts is over, unfortunately. But what's great about this situation for them right now is, there's realistically not too much, if no chance of qualifying through. But what they can do is they can try and experiment with things. You can learn, you can practice against some of these teams that are able to beat you by a considerable margin. How are they doing it? How can we counter it? How can we learn from these situations for future? Every single minute of gameplay here is going to be vital sort of data for Wales. Whereas Greece will be flying high. They'll be very happy with how today has gone in terms of this first matchup. And I'd imagine they'll be playing up against Portugal in the next round of this competition. Here's Mohamed Salah. A goal would be nice. Let's see if we can get a goal. That'll be beautiful. Just to take into the next competition, whenever that may be, with something to be excited about. And unfortunately for Wales, the Greek defence has been as good as their attacks. It has been really rather difficult for them. Here's Greece again. Cuts outside, crosses inside. Well dealt with from the Welsh defence, and even from a defensive standpoint, just, you know, the ability to find those defensive moves well and to deal with problems like this And unfortunately, they're not able to here. It's 4-0 in this second leg of this matchup. 8-0 overall. And Greece have just been different gravy in this competition. And Wales have got an attack going here, though. Here's Kylian Mbappe onto his left foot. Has a go. And it is a shot. But it's going to be a save. And I think for Wales here, what you have to take, really, is that sort of first half performance. First 30 minutes, they look like the better team against Greece. So, you know, definitely something to take into the next round of competition, the next Nations or World Cup groups, which will be happening at the end of next month. Just with a little bit of confidence, maybe. Just a little bit of belief. And now the data to go with it. As I say that, Greece get another goal, their 5th of the game. And unfortunately, it gets to a point in these games where the goals that they score, yes, it'll be great from a Greece standpoint, but from a Welsh standpoint, it doesn't really matter too much. You know, you're trying to go all-out attack. You're trying to win the game. You're trying to turn it around. So it does become very, very difficult to actually do anything about those attacks. Here's Vitinha. Up towards Mbappe. Through towards Yildiz, but cut out again from Greece. Maldini. Yildiz. Doesn't quite get there. Through ball now. For, I believe this is Erling Haaland for Greece. Doesn't quite turn into anything. Van Dijk. Rafael Leao. Doesn't find a way through there. And Wales, you can just see, are desperate for one of these goals right now. Just a score across the matchup would be beautiful. Here is Rafael Leao out on the wing. Looking for a bit of space. Finds it. Finding an opportunity. Saved from Greece. Here is Mbappe. Oh, Wales can't score. It's also chaotic in the Greek box. But the ball doesn't end up in the back of the net. And now Greece have got space. The slide challenge comes in. Slides going around everywhere. Everything is going on right now. Nobody knows what's happening. But what we do know that's happened is that Greece will be making their way through the next round of competition. Commiserations, of course, for Wales, because it's just, you know, a tough one, really, for the Welsh team in that matchup right there. Outclassed in a lot of ways. We have to be honest, but lots of positives to take from it as well. Little moments in those games where Wales looked like the better team, looked like they could contend with Greece. But of course, congratulations to Greece for making it through to the next round of competition, which is the round of 16. So they'll be going against likely Portugal. If I look at the stream right here for them, I think they'll be going up against Portugal. Yeah, they're currently 5-0 up overall on aggregate. So although it's a 9-0 loss on aggregate, it's still going to be something that Wales can be proud of. I think, you know, there's plenty of things to be excited about when it comes to the competition. With that being said, of course, that does bring us to the end of the Welsh run for the FIFA E World Cup 2026 for eFootball. We will be back, though, for some more eFootball action at the end of June, when our group stage matchups and competition does come through again. So that's going to be on the 30th of June 2026. So we'll have coverage of that, I'm sure, as well, when that does happen. But unfortunately for us, that will be all for our coverage. We were hoping to have more matchups coming through today, but it just wasn't to be. But we've got more coming up for you, I'm sure, very, very shortly, as well as some other FIFA E World Cup coverage as well. So, you know, I'm going to be interested to see how things end up shaping up with that. Of course, we've got the Rocket League coming up too. So excited to see how that goes. But thank you all so much for watching today. It's been an absolute pleasure casting the games, and we'll see you all in the next ones for some more FIFA E.